Anyways, okay, here we go. Good thing we got a little small BT Cruiser, because this would suck for that truck. This would take forever. Now, when you get your tire up, you want to make sure you get it 2 or 3 feet off the ground, so you know that when you take it off, you're not going to hit the ground. You want it up as 2, 3, like I said. Anyways, let's go a little higher here. Okay, that looks high enough to me. Okay, step 3 will be loosen the bolts to get your tire off. Okay, you come over here and you go left, lefty loosey, right tight. Okay, that's a step you should always. Yeah, okay, so these ain't obviously tight as I thought it would be, but usually if they get kind of tight, you pop them. And when you have there are many different types of wrenches you have and such things, but when you get a star wrench and the bolts are really tight and you can't get them, you have a guy, a partner next to you to help, you always put the star wrench on and have you hold it and have your partner get on this side and jump down on it and it'll pop the bolts loose. But that's usually when they're really tight. That's when people get over. Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah. So you go around. All your bolts. Make sure you keep your lugs in front of you where you don't lose them. So you always have them in front of you. There we go. This one. And there's a note I'll tell you when you put these back on. This is something you should keep in mind because a lot of people do this. Okay, tires ready to come off, so put your leg against it so it don't jam against the bolt. You get it off, and when you get it off,
spare tire. You don't have a spare tire out here. You don't want to take it out with it up on the jack.
Anyways, when you take it off, make sure you get your arms around it. There you have it. And I don't have my spare tire out here because this tire obviously ain't flat. But when you usually have flat, you always have a spare tire close to you. Because like I said, even though it's on a jack, anything can happen. And you don't want this to fall and damage your hubcap. So always have the spare tire close. When you take your actual tire off, you can just grab it and put it right on and get on the road as fast as you can. Okay, so keep that in mind. Spare tire close at all times. So since this ain't flat, we're going to put this back on. Okay? And there's ways people do this. You put this on. People you like to use bars, put it underneath, and pry it up as they pick it up, or people just come down, put it on, and you make sure when you're doing this, you line up the holes. There we go. And when you line up the holes, you tighten them. You can put all your bolts on. Sorry, excuse me. Had a brain fart. Forgot my plastic lid building here. Yeah. Make sure you don't forget that too. That would be a bummer. This ain't in my car. Anyways, as I was saying, as you're putting the bolts on, you make sure on trucks and such things, like people like to let it down early. make sure you put 3 bolts, or yeah, well, I like to put 3 bolts on, and when you do, you put them straight across from each other if you're ever gonna let down. So you put 3 bolts on, 2 straight across from each other, and this is when you use a hydraulic jack and a floor jack, because you can just drop down easy. In this case, I had to crank it, so mine just put them all on. But if you had a hydraulic jack or a floor jack, you could just spin it and it would just drop. And most people like to put 3 bolts on straight across from each other, or 1 right here or here. And you tighten those 3, and then you let down, so the tie is firmly secure on the hub. Okay. So as I continue to put these on, got a little more left. There we go. We're ready to go. Okay, now when tighten, you tighten these. When you tighten them, the note I told you I'll tell you when tightening is when you get them nice and tight, like as this, and it's kind of hard to pull. You just pull it once,
Your foot.
never have your foot underneath the tire when doing this, because that jack can fall and you might lose a foot. Sorry about that. My mistake. Never have your feet back at all times as you're doing this. Anything can happen, as I say. Anyways, as I was saying, when you tighten it, just give it a snug, and that's good. Some people, like I said, some people over tighten it and they break the bolt off as this right here. It's been broken because they tighten it too tight and they kept on tighten as hard as they can. You don't need to have as tight as them, but it's nice to get them really tight. You start feeling the pressure, just pop it like that, and it's tight enough. It's not going to come loose. So yeah, that's a little note to keep. Don't break your bolts off, because that can cause other problems too. And when it comes to maintenance, you don't want to be losing everything, have everything fall apart, because then big things will come after that. I think I have it. And when you get them all tight, you go through them again to check them. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. And that's tight. So this tire is secure on here, and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, now, this part of step 3 would be letting the jack down, of course. Down in here. Jack and a floor jack. You would just twist the knob, and it would just come down. So we have to do it by hand. Yeah, it didn't look too bad as I thought it would. Okay. And there we have it. Jack's out from underneath the car. Tires change. Nothing happened. And step 4 would be putting away the tools where you found them. nice to keep your tools put away in some place where you know they will be, especially when you blow out a tire, because you don't want to be standing there not being able to change a tire. That would really extremely suck. Really bad. Just saying. That's enough to keep too if you want to put that in it. So you step forward, be putting away your tools. And as you all know, when you get ready to drive, you know how to pull out the emergency brake, right? You don't drive an emergency brake, do you? No. So that's something you already have in your mind to do when you get in the car. So that's my demonstration on how to change a tire in the 4 steps. Thank you. My name's John Carter, and thank you for watching.
Nice presentation.
How do you stop this?